Hey there. Good morning. How you doing, Aries? I went to sleep last night and didn't get these all done, but we're gonna get it done right now. Here we go. That damn sleep. It's killing me. You have to do it every day. It's really annoying. Here we go. Okay. This one is your weekly reading for October 27th through the 30th. Let's see what we got. For Aries. Okay. I've got Aries, Aries, Aries. Alrighty. What you got, Aries? Wow. Different deck, same card as the last one. That's crazy. Okay, so you're starting with the Hermit. Okay. Hermit to what? To the High Priestess. And then I get the Ten of Swords. Alright, so this is your backstory. This is what we're working with, or what we're coming from. So your recent past backstory. So, okay, Aries. First of all, it feels like you are very much so working in silence. So you pulled your energy back out of a situation that you were involved in. I don't even know if the person that you pulled your energy away from realizes you pulled your energy back type of deal. You're definitely working like in stealth mode right now. So I get the feeling that something has triggered you, obviously. Something triggered you so that you pulled your energy back, but you're not saying anything. So whatever this is, it's like you're functioning from a place within your intuition or something. Something's off and you're not sure what it is. Like you're trying to find proof for what you think is wrong. So you're not saying a word, I don't think, about what's going on. You're just very quietly trying to figure things out, is how this looks. The challenge in this line is the Ten of Swords. So you feel as though you've been betrayed. But I think at this point, when we're talking about right here, I think this is nothing more than a feeling, but it's a strong feeling. So you're taking action on it. You're just doing it in a very, very silent way until you can find proof of whatever it is you're looking for. So this is your backstory, meaning that this has already happened, whatever this is right here we're talking about. But this is what we're building off of for this reading. So obviously something happened that made you think that everything was off. Everything was not right, you know what I'm saying? But you just didn't have any proof, and so you've just been very, very quietly trying to gather evidence or something. All right, that's the backstory. Where are we at currently? I've got you with the Strength card, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, so the Strength card tells me that you are definitely having to tap into inner strength. Probably because it looks like you're trying very hard to be very calculated and patient here, which is not necessarily something you're known as being one of your strong suits, right? So you are trying to tap into your inner strength to keep everything quiet and peaceful while you try to figure this all out. With the Page of Cups in the next spot, I feel like there is definitely a little bit of delusion at play here. A little bit of I don't know. I'm not saying that I don't think that you're correct in your assumption that something is off. I think that possibly you've let your imagination run a little bit wild with it. So I don't know that if it's to the degree that you believe it is, but still. Okay, and the challenge here is the Queen of Cups. So the challenge here is an issue where the challenge to me feels as though you have basically begun to find the proof that you are looking for, and now you're not sure what to do with it, meaning that you pulled your energy back to look for this proof of betrayal. Now I feel like you've stumbled onto parts of the truth that you were looking for, but now you're left with this dilemma because you're not really sure that you want to leave this particular relationship we're talking about. So it's like you've been quiet about it the whole time. So can you keep this quiet then and just go forward? You know what I'm saying? That it's almost like you're trying to let yourself cross your own boundaries. You knew what you were looking for in proof, and now that you found it, you don't really want to necessarily end this relationship. So you are you're toying with the idea of just keeping it quiet. You're not sure, you know, saying to bring it forward, you would have to stand on business then, and you would have to end this, and that's not necessarily what you want. So I feel like you're almost trying to make excuses for the person involved. Huh. Okay. What do we got in the near future? I've got the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles down here is basically you juggling, but what you're juggling is, you know, the information you have versus the reality of the situation. I hope that makes sense, but it's like in black and white, it means one thing, but you understand what the next step would be, and you don't want to take the next step, so now you're just holding on to the information for a minute while you try to figure out what you're going to do. With the Seven of Swords here, there has definitely been a breakdown in trust over all of this. However, it's also you trying to be very strategic here because you're just not... there was a betrayal done, that much is true. I think that maybe you blew it a little bit out of proportion, but it doesn't change the fact there was a betrayal here. But I think you're trying to figure out if there's a way you can just sweep this under the rug and keep moving forward because you really don't want to lose the relationship for some reason. Maybe you've found an excuse for why it happened, or maybe you believe it won't happen again, which is possible. But there's something along those lines where you're trying to almost keep this as a secret that you hold on to yourself, even though you didn't do anything wrong. Knight of Pentacles in the end is you sitting on this information for right now. You have not decided to move on it, it looks like. You're just kind of keeping it with you. Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Hangman. You do feel kind of stuck. And you do consider this to be a divine union. And I do believe that the betrayal was quite possibly a third-party situation of some sort. But maybe it was a one-time thing and you feel like it won't happen again, or I don't know, maybe you found a way to excuse it, you know, like, I don't know, something else got involved and that's what happened. But if you come forward with the information, you feel like that'll be the end. So I think right this second, Aries, you're sitting on the information, which is very not Aries-like. Let me just add that, okay? But for some reason, it's like you're just not sure that you feel that it would be worth it to bring it forward because you do feel like this is divine union. You don't feel like you want to lose this. I think you're trying to sit on the information and you're going to see what happens from here kind of thing is what I see here. You know, if it happens again, then, you know what I'm saying? But you're on the fence about it all. Okay, the Five of Wands, you're definitely conflicted, and the Fool. And then the Seven of Cups. I think the Fool is here because you're just trying to not look foolish. You're trying to not act impulsively. You're very much so going against the natural grain of how you normally are here. But it's because this relationship means a lot to you. That doesn't mean that you're not looking at your own options right now to see what's out there because, I mean, fair is fair, right? But anyways, this is what I see here. I'll pull 3 more and then we'll get out of it. But this is what I see for the energy this week. Anyways, I have the Six of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Emperor. The Emperor is your card, so you are standing in your power. And you're trying to look at this from a very analytical, logical standpoint. You know, I think the Six of Wands is here because one of the deciding factors is this is not something that is widely known, whatever's happened here. So that is making this a lot easier, so you're not having to deal with what other people think, I guess you could say. You're acting very, very adult here, I must say. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you're acting very adult here for you. I mean, not to say that you're not normally adult-like, but you are definitely putting a lot more thought into this than would normally be there, okay? All right, that's what I got for Aries. I hope that somehow helps y'all. There we go, Aries. Click, come on.